So I googled what a soulmate is. Here's what I found. So essentially, a soulmate really equates to the person that you have the healthiest relationship with, according to Google. I don't know. Are soulmates real? That is completely up to you. However, the point of this video really is to talk about the relationships and experiences that you may have already encountered, that you may potentially encounter before you meet that special someone that just makes you feel whole inside and makes that little black hole of yours grow just a centimeter wider, you know. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. I don't want this intro to be too long because honestly, y'all just be clicking out of videos, and that messes with my algorithm. Stop. Okay, so yeah, let's get into this.
Yeah, get into it.
There may be a couple of these. There may be a couple of placeholders in your life. I guess another word for this would be a sort of rebound, but I think that there's a bit of a difference between the two. So I think like a rebound is obviously like you're using someone else to get over the last person you were with or had feelings for. With a placeholder, I think it's more so like you're not really interested in the last person that you were with. You may still have some unresolved pain. With the placeholder, you're just kind of more so scarred by your past relationships, and so you are avoiding real intimacy by dating someone that cannot connect with you on a deeper level. You choose someone that you are compatible with on paper. So this person may be, you know, like tall, dark, and handsome, right? He like goes to school and he works, you know, he has a full-time job and he takes care of his mom. Both look really good together, and it just makes sense. Like to the outside world, it makes sense that you two would find each other attractive. It makes sense that you two would date. To you, in your head, you probably play it up. Really, it's just a friend. The reason I say this is it's very similar to the friendship, where it's a superficial connection. You do not feel safe enough in each other's presence to go there emotionally, to be vulnerable, to be intimate with each other. Honestly, there are some people that you're gonna come across in life that no matter how hard you try to be their friend or be their partner or just connect with them on a deeper level, you honestly just can't. And some people's energy just will never align with yours. And with the placeholder, that may exactly be the case. This person doesn't really have or possess the capacity to hurt you. And so when you go into these relationships, I hope you're not making this conscious decision to date someone that you know that you're not really into. I assume that it's more of a subconscious thing, because that's what it was for me. Then over time, I came to realize that there was no real emotional connection, but I was okay with that, because here's what happened. I had been traumatized from the previous relationships I was in. Honestly, I did not take the time to heal, and I just jumped into another relationship. What happened was I ended up dating a few placeholders where I thought I was really into someone, but then I got bored like instantly, and I realized that there wasn't that deep of an emotional connection as maybe I had played up in my head or I had convinced myself into believing. Your subconscious is a tricky thing. It isn't until you get hurt or something painful happens that the truth is unveiled. The whole time you may be telling yourself, I do like this person, I do care for this person. Yet you're always kind of analyzing your emotion. You think, oh, it's because I've grown, it's progress, like this is a mature, healthy relationship. This is how it's supposed to be, where you don't really care so much about what your partner does, and you just try to convince yourself that this is what a healthy, functioning relationship is like. I think that you've just become a more mature, resilient person who is better at dealing with uncomfortable situations. But really, you're literally dating someone that could never hurt you. Yeah, that's the placeholder. I know I'm not the only one who's dated one, so I have no shame talking about it. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Child. I need to play a song, because even like thinking about coulda, shoulda, woulda, I just had like a plethora of flashbacks. I have to play a song to commemorate the death of that relationship, because that was like. All right, well, that's enough because copyright is a thing, but that was to commemorate that. Shoulda, woulda is basically the person that you have a very, very, very intense and deep connection with, but it never goes anywhere. So you can have this wonderful connection, and I'm talking about like karmic link, okay? Like a strong karmic link. The person that you feel so entirely understood by. It's this person that may come out of the blue, honestly, as well, just like Prince Charming. And this person doesn't sweep you off your feet in the way that society idealizes romance. This person may come to you in a way that makes you feel, I guess, sort of cared for almost immediately. You are so automatically open and willing to share different parts of yourself with this person because you identify with them so much. They possess so many of the same qualities as you. You respond to things similarly. You think in a very, very similar way. The connection is almost, or can be, spiritual. It's like you two are kind of tethered to one another. It's almost as if when that person is feeling pain, you're also feeling pain. There are some real connections like that. It kind of almost feels like what you expect a soulmate to feel like. And because you two share this bond, right, that's very new to you, that you've never really experienced with someone, you gravitate towards one another naturally. So with this sort of connection, you know, you may mistake it. I'm not going to say it's a mistake, but it's natural to think that it's love. And it could be. You could really genuinely love this person. And you can love the wrong people. That's totally normal and fine. And I just want you guys to know that these relationships, these connections with people do exist. Just because you may not have put a ring on it or put a title on it doesn't mean that you were never in love. It doesn't mean that you and that person never cared for one another. It doesn't make your bond any less legitimate. But these relationships and these connections really do exist. And the reason I call this person Mr. Coulda, Shoulda, Woulda is because for some reason, and I personally think that when I hear like other stories like this as well, one of you or both of you are emotionally unavailable. So you have this crazy, wild connection and you guys are just infatuated with each other. And it's far more than lust. You tell this person things you've never told anyone ever. But for some reason, you guys never officially put a title on it or label it. And this may be due to the fact that both of you are emotionally unavailable, but also you both could be afraid. When there's a connection that intense, it's more so common for people, especially of our generation, to run away from that, because when you experience something that real, naturally, I feel like if you've been hurt before, your first instinct is going to be to run or to put that wall up as high as possible, because this person has the potential to really do some damage to your heart. For some reason, you are not comfortable being vulnerable with them about your feelings. Similarly to the friendship. The friendship, remember, that's more of a superficial connection. It's not really worth exploring because, you know, it's not like I feel deeply for this person. I'm just trying to like psychoanalyze, you know, if it's worth pursuing. And if you have to question if it's worth pursuing, then it's probably not. If it's worth it, you just do it, you know. With this relationship now, you've probably thought about it a lot and want to, and that person probably does as well, but neither of you pulls the trigger because you're afraid of getting hurt. You're afraid of, again, maybe losing this person. Once you share how you feel about them, losing, you know, the friendship or whatever the hell it is. You maybe don't want to be that person that puts the label on it, that asks what is this, because you don't want to be that stereotypical girl or guy. Honestly, I think it really comes down to, even though you're able to be vulnerable with each other and talk about yourselves, you just for some reason cannot talk about how you feel about each other, because then it becomes too real. And it scares the hell out of both of you. And deep down inside, you also probably know that as intense and wonderful and profound as this connection may be, you two realistically would not work as a couple. You both may want certain things in a partner that the other has, right? So for example, like I want someone that's spontaneous and fun and like free-spirited and intelligent, that can teach me things, that, you know, that is wild. But what I really need is maybe someone that's a little more low-key and a little more tamed and a little more laid back, who isn't as wild in a sense as I am, because I'm already so extra. It's about that balance. And maybe deep down inside you both know like you cannot be that person for the other person because you're too much alike. You're too much alike. You know so much about one another as well. And like I said, this is a very deep connection. So you've probably been honest about everything you've ever done in your past relationships, like mistakes, all of it. And maybe that person has taken note of that and is afraid that you might do that to them, and vice versa, because now you know what each other is really capable of. You're not willing to trust each other in that particular way, which is crazy, because in all the other like parts of your relationship, you can do those things. But for some reason, when it comes to true intimacy, like romantic intimacy, like love, you cannot take that next step. And so that's why it's Mr. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, because nothing ever comes of it. And in the back of your mind, you're kind of always gonna think, not always, like not until you meet, like really, like when you meet the next person I'm gonna talk about, Mr. Coulda, shoulda, woulda gonna be like, who? You're gonna be like, who that? But for a while, you're gonna think to yourself, like, what could have been? And you may feel regret, and you may think you missed out on something absolutely wonderful and amazing. But I'm telling you, you did not miss out on anything. Wonderful connections don't always lead to relationships, and it doesn't always lead to being with someone forever. And honestly, sometimes you just connect with people and that's it. Honestly, sometimes people just understand you and that's it. Yeah, it doesn't always have to be something more. And I feel like the person that really is meant for you will want it to be something more and will value you and the connection you have so much that they won't be afraid to take that extra step. Everything happens for a reason. In most cases, it will never make sense in the beginning as to why someone leaves your life, or why a relationship doesn't work out, or why someone who seems so perfect will not try to be with you, or whatever the case may be. Like, you may think things are supposed to go a certain way, and life will teach you that you're not going to get what you want. You're going to get what you need. You're not in control of that, but that doesn't mean you missed out on anything. Anything that you missed out on, truly missed out on, is something that wasn't meant for you in the moment, but will come back to you in the future. So if that person never comes back, if that person never realizes your worth, and you haven't missed out on anything. But don't sit around and wait for that day to come, because then you're gonna miss out on someone that's ready and willing to commit to you, to be vulnerable with you, to do everything you need from that. That heartbreak will definitely hurt. Please let me know down below if you can relate to any of these experiences, if you've encountered people like this or relationships like this. Now, the real deal, and this is what some may call your soulmate, the person you spend the rest of your life with, the person that completes you. But it's 2021, so we don't have anyone completing us. I have it written down here because I don't know, I thought whatever was pretty sweet, so I'm gonna read it to you guys. The real deal is the person that will just lay it bare with you, like is ready from the beginning to just be honest. This is the person that from the beginning values you, understands and respects you, listens to you, acknowledges you, does not neglect you, is consistent with you, supportive and kind and loyal without you even really having to have those conversations. You know, I feel like a lot of the time when we start dating people or talking to someone, we already have these like preconceived notions. We already have a list of boxes that need to be checked off. With the real deal, it's weird because I don't think you really have to say much. I think the person just does it, like, without you having to say anything. It's almost as if, like, I don't know, God or the universe like handcrafted this person for you. They see you for who you are. They naturally gravitate towards you. There's like a genuine connection. You know, I love asking married people in particular, how did you know this person was the one for you? The responses I always get are, this person just feels like home. Prior to this person, you probably thought to yourself, like, I'm never gonna settle down. There's like no one I would throw in the towel for. When you meet this person, they make you consider it. And the second you consider it, you just know, like, damn, it's like the easiest decision you'll ever make. That's basically like the general consensus of what I've gathered. It's intense. Similarly to the coulda, shoulda, woulda, the difference is it's not unnerving. So with Mr. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, you were always wondering what was going to happen next with this person, if anything would come of this, if you're wasting your time. And with this person, Mr. Real Deal, it's the opposite. Like, it's kind of like the connection is so genuine that it feels natural, like to have those conversations that you would have been probably terrified to address with Mr. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, or anyone else. The real deal for me consists of just there being open and honest communication, even if it's gonna hurt the other person's feelings. But I think that, like, you and your partner will be in a space that, like, you are so loving towards each other that you understand that you're both coming from a place of just like genuine concern and compassion. If there ever is an issue or there's a boundary that's been crossed, it should feel like so safe that you don't feel too anxious or afraid that this person is just going to up and leave or start acting differently because you addressed a genuine concern. Instead, you know that this person is reasonable. You know that this person is consistent. You know that this person cares about you and will not jeopardize what you two have because you asked for clarity. You don't have to play games. You don't have to beat around the bush. I want you, you want me. What do I have to do to make sure you're happy? Let's do that. Let's have fun. We're like, that's it. Like, I feel like it's just very simple and to the point, and there's no confusion about anything. Allowing yourself to be open and vulnerable and intimate like that. Oh, obviously, come on. Different people bring different energies. Everyone loves the term energies this year, but every person brings different energies, different frequencies. I think the person that you're meant to be with is in direct alignment with your frequency, even if it comes in a different shape or form, or the person doesn't look the stereotypical person you would date. I think that you guys just see eye to eye on so many different things, and you align so well with one another. It may not make sense to a lot of people. A lot of people may think like, oh, that's like such a weird pairing, but like the two of you are aligned in all of the right ways. That adds to you feeling more comfortable being vulnerable with this person, because you see so much of yourself in this person. But the difference between real deal and coulda, shoulda, woulda is that real deal adds to your plate. Real deal doesn't take away and make you question how you feel about him or how he feels about you. Real deal puts it all on the table, actively works to make sure that you know how he feels.